One of the world's biggest icebergs is stuck and spinning in an ocean vortex off of Antarctica.
And as NBC's Tom Costello tells us, glacier experts are buzzing.
For years now, Antarctica has been a land of untold mysteries. A land of endless ice at the bottom of the world, countless scientific research and exploration, and even conspiracy theories. It is one of the most remote places on Earth. But recently, something interesting just happened. The United States has made a shocking announcement that Antarctica has been shut down over a terrible discovery. What must be so terrifying that the whole continent has to be shut down? So what exactly could they have discovered in Antarctica? Let's find out. The iceberg that started it all. Would you believe me if I told you that a single iceberg could cause a global crisis? But it's not just the iceberg itself. It's what it exposed. It all started in 2017 when an iceberg known as A68 broke free from the Larsen C ice shelf in Antarctica. This iceberg was not like any other. It was one of the largest icebergs that has ever been recorded. It was so huge that it was compared to being almost the size of Delaware. It was said to be several tons heavy. It got the attention of many people all around the world because of its potential impact on sea levels and climate stability. The iceberg's massive size had wider impacts, impacting not only the climate, but also shipping routes and coastal areas worldwide. But this wasn't just a matter of climate science. The story of this iceberg took an unexpected turn when drone footage taken by international researchers discovered something extraordinary beneath the ice. It was this footage that led to a series of events that eventually led the United States to the shutdown of the continent of Antarctica. As iceberg A68 drifted away, it uncovered a hidden cave-like structure, a huge circular tunnel that seemed to go deep into the ice. The drone footage showed a strange blue glow coming from the cave, a glow that was unlike anything ever seen. It seems like there's more to Antarctica than meets the eye. This has led to the rise of many different theories. Some said that the light is caused by a natural phenomenon. Others said it is a secret military bunker, while others came up with pretty interesting explanations like a hidden alien base or ancient artifacts. This discovery was initially handled with caution, but as more evidence came to light, it began raising questions about what really lies hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica. Experts from different fields, including geology, archaeology, and even extraterrestrial research, were brought in to examine it. To their discovery, the caves looked man-made, but the origin of the glow and its purpose still remained a mystery. So the question here is, what is the real origin of this strange blue glow? Better yet, what is the purpose of its existence that has led the whole continent to be shut down? Keep watching to find out. With the discovery gaining worldwide attention, the United States government took a drastic measure. In a press conference, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, declared that Antarctica had been shut down. This decision shocked the whole world. The investigation began with weird experiences experienced by a retired flight engineer named Brian, who had worked in the U.S. Navy. Surprisingly enough, these investigations didn't just start recently. Investigations in Antarctica started way back in 2015 after investigative journalist Linda Howe came across a mysterious scene that quickly caught her attention and made her obsessed with the urge to find more. But this was just the beginning of a chilling series of events. Stories started emerging from a retired flight engineer named Brian, who had seen things in Antarctica that defied explanation. What did Brian discover? And why were powerful forces determined to keep it a secret? Brian's strange experience. This started with a detailed email from Brian, a retired flight engineer who worked in the U.S. Navy back in the year 1980s and 1990s. During his time in the Navy, he managed to fly Antarctica for more than 4 hours. While he was up in the sky, he saw some sights and objects that didn't really seem so usual. At one particular time, he saw a perfectly circular hole in a huge stretch of ice. This hole was not like any other. It was so huge, and it was going all the way down deeper into something that looked like a cave. The cave also had a glow. The glow looked similar to what was captured recently in drone footage. Out of curiosity, he tried to fly his plane closer to the glowing cave entrance. To his surprise, something out of the ordinary happened. All the electronic devices in the plane began to fail. They had to perform an emergency procedure to restart the systems of the plane. Imagine having such system failures in an area so isolated and remote as Antarctica. That wasn't the only strange thing that he had to experience. After all that had happened, the authorities came and took all the flight records and refused to talk about what had happened. This made things even more interesting. After Linda had Brian's story, she decided to dig even deeper. Brian shared with her some more interesting findings. This led to the realization that Brian's experiences were similar to the ones caught in the recent footage and recent discoveries. In 1987, Brian encountered another frightening experience. He was on a routine mission flying from McMurdo Station, which is the main research facility in Antarctica. It turned out to be quite a different mission for him from the normal routine one, the moment his crew was sent to some very remote campsite deep in the ice in Antarctica. Upon their arrival, it turned out that the place was in absolute shambles. Everything was thrown around, but they couldn't find anyone around the place. The finding triggered a chain of spooky events involving a series of mysterious disappearances of scientists from other research camps in Antarctica. Strange radio signals were also picked up. These were pretty weird, accompanied by lots of strange noises and unknown languages. Most of them, no doubt, were coming from something hidden beneath the ice. What had already been a scary situation had just gotten even more scarier, heightening anxiety in Brian's crew. It then began to dawn on them that during this period, something was going on behind the curtains with powerful forces that were quite hell-bent on keeping them in the dark as to what was taking place. Things really started to get even more serious when a group of men in black, accompanied by senior Navy officials, arrived at the McMurdo station. When they arrived, they asked for Brian specifically, trying to force him to withdraw the report about what he saw during the mission. But he still refused to change his story. Not long after that, Brian again experienced something just as strange on another mission in the most desolate areas of the Antarctic. He picked up a faint distress signal coming from beneath an ice shelf. When he and his crew went to see it, they found a glowing hole in the ice. However, as they got closer, all the systems on his plane just went dead, and everything went dark. Fortunately, power was restored after a while, and they managed to leave the place safely. What if I told you that beneath the icy expanse of Antarctica, a hidden world of secrets and mysteries was waiting to be uncovered? Brian's strange encounters and Linda Howe's relentless investigation have led us to question everything we thought we knew about this frozen frontier. But what exactly lies beneath the ice? Keep watching as we dive into a tale of secret operations, mysterious disappearances, and advanced technologies that could rewrite history itself. Linda Howe's investigation. Meanwhile, when Brian returned to McMurdo Station, he began to realize some disturbing patterns. Somehow, his experiences had a connection to a few unexplained disappearances of scientists and the sudden shutdowns of research stations across Antarctica. Guilty because he didn't say a word to anyone and thinking about what happened to others who tried to speak up, Brian needed to find someone who would believe his story. That's where he met Linda Howe, a very determined investigator who works in such a manner that she would always go to the root of a story. Linda was intrigued by Brian's story and decided to dig deeper. She started doing her own investigation while gathering stories from military personnel who supported Brian's story. Some claimed to have seen advanced aircraft around Antarctica, heard strange radio signals, and even seen some strange objects that passed underwater at a high speed. She also found evidence of temporary structures in Antarctica that were built and then destroyed. It looked like a place where hidden secret operations take place. She even found the records of Antarctic researchers who had died under very strange circumstances. Brian and Linda decided to go on a quest together to uncover what exactly goes on in this cold, creepy land of Antarctica. They were so committed to investigating and exposing the truth behind such disturbing events. As they were carrying out their investigations, they found a hidden network of operations led by powerful military scientific groups. One time, Brian's curiosity rose while flying over Antarctica's Queen Maud Mountains. During this flight, he and his crew witnessed something incredible. Shimmering silver discs emerging from the snow-capped mountains. These unexplained flying objects, UFOs, moved in a way that defied the normal rules of flying, raising the possibility that they were advanced technology or maybe from another world. After this surprising event, Brian decided to focus his research on the Queen Maud Mountains. What started as a normal flight turned extraordinary when Brian and his team saw several discs, each about 30 to 40 yards wide, flying perfectly in formation toward Mount Fritsch. These metallic-like objects were shining brightly in the sky. Their movements even confused his experienced crew. The discs rotated together, increased their speed, and changed direction without visible engines or propulsion, confusing what is already known about flying technology. The team stared with astonishment for nearly 15 minutes before the discs vanished far behind the mountains, leaving everyone speechless. The discovery of these silver discs implied the possibility of secret bases or advanced technology like new types of spacecraft capable of taking off vertically and accelerating swiftly. Even more mystery was added when Brian came upon a glowing cave on a later flight. The cave had glowing walls and weird symbols that suggested an old civilization or advanced technology hidden beneath the ice. The crew reportedly encountered technical issues, including lost communication and navigation, which could have been caused by high electromagnetic forces or other unknown reasons. These discoveries led people to believe that a large cover-up was happening. But Brian's story wasn't just about UFOs. His findings revealed a world of hidden mysteries in the unexplored parts of Antarctica, suggesting secrets and technologies far beyond what we know. His experiences felt like something out of a science fiction movie. Brian also said that many scientists in Antarctica are afraid to talk about what they have seen doing their missions there. When the world heard of Brian's experiences, many people believed that the United States government had restricted access to Antarctica to keep these secrets hidden. While flying over Antarctica, Brian noticed several perfectly round holes in the ice that led to a cave that was glowing with a soft blue light. The precision of the holes and the strange glow suggested that the technology behind them was far more advanced than anything humans could create. Brian wrote an official report about his findings, the unusual electromagnetic effects, and the sightings of the three objects speeding out of the ice cave. However, before the report could even be processed, someone took it and demanded that he be quiet about it. This incident really surprised Brian, reminding him of the old stories about hidden places under Antarctica. Due to curiosity, Brian flew over the strange area several times, and each time the strange electrical issues messed up with his plane's instruments. On his last flight, right before the area was closed off, Brian saw another silver disc inside an ice cave. It suddenly shot up and emitted a bright light that knocked out all his equipment. When his plane and equipment came back online 20 minutes later, they were 13 kilometers away from the cave with no memory of how they got there. Despite his efforts, bad weather conditions and the strict flying rules placed prevented him from exploring even further. Over time, Brian secretly got in touch with other pilots who had gone through similar things throughout time. One of his colleagues shared evidence of strange underwater objects in the Weddell Sea. He said that he saw metallic pods moving through the water without causing any disturbances. Another colleague had thermal satellite images showing unusual heat patterns under Wilkes Land, suggesting hidden bases or maybe temporary living quarters. Comparing his own experiences with these other stories, Brian started to suspect that there were secret operations going on beneath the Antarctic ice. He suspected that these operations were connected to the advanced silver crafts that he had seen making impossible moves above the frozen landscape. Brian started having difficulty sleeping because of the thoughts of the unusual events that he had witnessed. The impact of what he had discovered, both fascinating and frightening, stayed with him always. But he wasn't alone. As days went by, more former military personnel who knew about the mysteries of Antarctica were also trying to uncover the truth. But the story of Antarctica was far from over. On another flight mission, Brian picked up a faint signal coming from beneath an ice shelf, which led him to discover perfectly round holes in the Antarctic ice. As the aircraft got closer, its communication systems suddenly stopped working. This was so clear that there was something powerful interfering with the communication systems. When Brian was trying to share his results through coded messages, it caught the attention of high-ranking officials from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA. They ordered Brian not to say a word about what he had seen. When the high-ranking officials became involved in this, it became so clear that something important and very secretive had been hidden underneath Antarctica. The signals Brian detected were unlike anything he had ever encountered. They had complex patterns that seemed to carry some kind of information, but their origin and meaning were still a mystery. The failure of the communication systems as they got closer to the signal source suggested advanced technology that could disrupt modern equipment. Since Brian was so determined at all costs to uncover the truth, he decided to share his discoveries with Linda Moe by sending her coded messages. Despite all the warnings and threats he received, Brian still remained determined and motivated to uncover what was hidden. He had a strong sense of duty that drove him to keep on searching for the truth. What if everything you thought you knew about Antarctica was just the tip of the iceberg? From secret military bases to alien civilizations, brace yourself for a journey into the unknown, where the truth is far stranger than fiction. The quest for truth. Brian and Linda went on a quest to find out more. As they were digging deeper and deeper into Antarctica's mysteries, they stumbled into strange things. What they discovered was more advanced than anything known to science today. They found signs of an ancient civilization that had lived beneath the ice for thousands of years. In a central chamber, they found technology, artifacts and writings that warned about the dangers of using technology irresponsibly and disturbing nature's balance. The remains found also included machines, strange detailed carvings, and even buildings made from materials unknown to modern science. The writings were in a language that mixed old writing styles. Buried deep in the ice, they uncovered a huge amount of knowledge, explaining the history of the lost civilization, their achievements, and how they eventually became extinct. It seemed as though the ancient civilization had managed to develop way more advanced technologies that could maybe do things like manipulate energy, control gravity, and who knows, maybe even travel through space. The message they left behind warned us against the dangers that come with being excessively proud of our technological advancements and reminded us to live in harmony with nature. In my opinion, I think that Brian and Linda's findings have given us a glimpse of this long-forgotten part of human history. The last expedition took an unexpected turn when Brian and his team discovered a hidden underground facility that was incredibly old, but surprisingly advanced. Inside the facility, they found evidence of a long-lost civilization and technology that was more advanced than what we have today. When they returned and presented their findings, no one really believed them. Luckily for Brian, he wasn't the only one who wanted to share his discoveries with the world. With the help of a growing group of truth seekers, they began sharing their discoveries with the world. This new collaboration triggered questions about what might really be hidden in Antarctica. The underground facility that they found had really advanced and complicated power systems, transportation routes, and living quarters made from materials and methods that modern science couldn't explain. It seemed that this technology had been working for thousands of years. Even though Brian and his team faced constant threats from powerful people to keep their findings a secret, they didn't give up. With the support of the truth seekers and whistleblowers, they were able to finally bring their findings to light. After news about their discovery reached the world, it led to a worldwide debate about Antarctica's real secrets and whether there was the existence of an advanced ancient civilization. Admiral Richard E. Byrd's discovery. Brian and Linda worked hard to reveal the truth, linking all their discoveries to historical stories. However, they were not the first people to find such mysteries in Antarctica. Some time ago, Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a renowned naval officer and explorer, reported seeing similar strange phenomena in Antarctica, but his stories were dismissed as mere fantasies. In 1929, he led a historic flight over the South Pole, revealing some of Antarctica's secrets to the world. However, it was his mission in 1947 that really caught people's attention. In 1947, Byrd discovered a wide entrance through the Antarctic ice that led to another hidden world. He claimed to have seen green landscapes, tall mountains, and even some ancient creatures. He had even claimed to have seen an advanced flying disc and beings from that secret world, warning him of the dangerous path that humanity had undertaken. When he returned to the United States, powerful people did their best to cover up his remarkable findings. He was forced to withdraw his claims publicly. Nevertheless, word of the so-called discovery of Byrd continued until it spread theories about secret bases and ancient civilizations being buried under the Antarctic ice. Byrd's stories really played a major role in Brian's and Linda's research to bring these old stories to light and to bring out new interest about the true nature of Antarctica and what it entails. President Biden's decision and global reaction. The recent discovery in Antarctica has caused a huge commotion around the world. The decision of President Joe Biden to shut off the entire continent started to look like a desperate measure. People started to question old concepts and demanded their leadership be much more open and transparent about what was really going on. The secrets dug out from Antarctica became an iconic symbol of the greater struggle for knowledge and understanding. These revelations started a new era of exploration and collaboration. Countries have now started working together to explore the advanced technologies and ancient knowledge lying buried beneath the thick ice of Antarctica. The quest of Admiral Byrd and bravery akin to that of whistleblowers like Brian inspired the birth of a fresh breed of explorers and scientists who were more driven to reveal the truth and protect our planet for future generations. The decision by President Biden to shut off Antarctica also sparked intense debates about national sovereignty, scientific ethics, and environmental preservation. Some viewed his actions as a necessary safeguard to prevent the misuse of potentially dangerous discoveries, while others saw it as a way to monopolize knowledge and power. International forums buzzed with concerns about who controls access to these newfound resources and technologies. Activists argued for a more inclusive approach, ensuring that all nations benefit from these revelations. As global tensions rise, the frozen continent has become the focal point for a new geopolitical chess game where transparency and collaboration are key. When President Biden made the shocking decision to seal off the entire continent, the world demanded answers. Was he hiding ancient technologies, lost civilizations, or something far more sinister? Beacon of hope. Antarctica, once viewed as some desolate, mystic frozen landscape, today transformed into a beacon of hope and a tribute to the unrelenting quest of men to understand. Interest in Antarctic research began to spread gradually throughout the world, and the nations started working together through international organizations to disclose secrets lying beneath the ice and using the advanced technologies discovered through such research to attempt to resolve some of the global problems. It was then that the long-time theories of Admiral Byrd about Antarctica were re-examined in light of these new discoveries. The courage and bravery of people like Brian and Linda, who managed to reveal the truth, inspired so many new explorers, scientists, and activists. These people are dedicated to the protection of the Earth and the advancement of human knowledge. What had been found beneath the ice in Antarctica were lessons of humility, the essence of collaboration in the search for truth, and understanding in the face of the unknown. Incredible as it might sound, Antarctica is a land that epitomizes a critical battlefield for our future, where the stakes dealing with global survival and supremacy are huge. It faces serious threats that could change its fate and affect the well-being of the entire planet. As the ice begins to melt, we are uncovering new information that brings to light more important issues about conservation, politics, and resource use that humanity has to deal with. Antarctica's huge ice sheets are vital for maintaining the Earth's climate and weather. They act like huge freezers, storing a great volume of water and preserving nearly stable temperatures. However, climate change is causing the melting rate of this ice sheet to increase, probably leading to its instability, which can have a dangerous effect on sea levels all around the world. Considering the fact that over 250 billion metric tons of ice are lost every year, there is a definite need to take some serious actions in regard to the protection of the exceptional environment, as well as the animals living here, such as penguins and whales. To protect this environment, protected areas are being established, Fishing is being regulated, and wildlife populations are monitored on a regular basis. Now, coming to the topic of today. Deep inside the remote icy land of Antarctica, a group of scientists came across something really extraordinary. They found a chamber hidden deep inside the ice of Antarctica. They found a big, glowing crystal-like structure inside it that emitted a faint and steady glow. They found some strange, detailed symbols written on the walls. What started off as an exciting discovery for them quickly turned into a frightening experience. At first, the team was so excited to have found the glowing crystal structure with the strange symbols on the wall. It was as if he had stumbled upon some hidden treasure. However, as they got even closer, things started to get really creepy and scary. Some of these symbols appeared to be changing and moving in a sort of manner that was both captivating and frightening. A few minutes later, they realized that the crystal had started to vibrate and the ground had started shaking. It was like an earthquake. A few minutes later, the United States government came in, and guess what? They shut down the whole continent of Antarctica, claiming that they had made a terrible discovery. An official statement from the government said that this was a safety measure against a possible earthquake. But here is where it gets really interesting. There are rumors among scientists claiming that this discovery could be way more than just an earthquake. Some say that it might be something that could possibly change everything we know about physics and maybe even time. So as the world watches from a distance, the secrets of Antarctica still remain locked away from the public. What do you think is really going on down there? Let us know in the comments section below. International tensions and resource competition. In the meantime, Antarctica has started becoming an epicenter of global conflict. Countries have started getting greedy over it. Countries such as Russia, China, and the United States have started gaining interest in the hidden treasures of Antarctic land, be it minerals and oil beneath the ice. While the Antarctic Treaty of 1959 bans any kind of military activity and resource exploitation, weighing the preservation of an untouched environment in Antarctica against growing pressures related to climate change, geopolitical ambitions and resource demands will require great efforts. The secrets disclosed in Antarctica are not mere fascinating stories used to entertain us. They are clear indications that we need to up our game and take action in trying to make a difference and make the world a better place. This mystery urges us to explore more and truly understand what's really hidden beneath the ice of Antarctica. It could be a chance to be connected with something much greater and uncover some kind of truth that would actually reshape our understanding of Earth's history and probably even our place in the universe. We can solve so many of the world's puzzles by treating these mysteries open-mindedly and respectfully. This will really help us grow individually and even as a civilization at large. As the ice continues to melt, more secrets will begin to resurface, giving humanity an opportunity to learn and make positive changes in our world. This is the time for us to welcome new discoveries with courage and a clear and positive mindset. By embracing these discoveries, we will be in a position where we can make use of them to uplift our lives and the environment, rather than let ourselves down by fear of the unknown. It can only help us in building a better future for humanity. If you think about it, it is crystal clear that Antarctica may hold so many secrets that are simply unimaginable. But the question still remains, what is really going on down there in Antarctica? Can it be a cover-up for something that is completely beyond our understanding, or is there simply more to the story that we just don't know yet? Let me know in the comment section below.